am back at Red Rock State Park. This time I'm hiking to the top to do a Q&A there, because why not, you know? Plus the last time I did a collab with Chang Nation, we were also trying to get to the top, but we kind of stopped like 2/3 in. This time I really want to make it to the top, so I will see you there. Pixie here too. Hey Pixie. Hey Pixie. She's having fun being off leash. Taking a break right now. I think I'm halfway there. I think. Your turn, pigs. Miesta. Miesta. Good girl, Miesta. Good girl, Miesta. I made it. We made it to the top. Hey y'all, now's the time for Q&A. I had my moderator separate all the questions that you guys submitted into 3 categories. Some of them were paraphrased, some of them were combined because there was a lot of repeated questions. First category is gonna be general, which is like just questions in general about myself. The second category is gonna be outdoors related. And the third category is going to be OnlyFans and sex work related, because I get a lot of those, all right? Not surprised. So let's get started. First one, so I'm gonna do general first. General, which is just questions about me, in general. First one, where are you from? I was born in the US, I was born in LA to be specific. But if you're asking about my ethnicity, I'm from Taiwan. I have lived in Taiwan for 8 years, and around like 11 or 12, I moved back to the States. Where I can see you, please. Pixie. Good girl. Second question, what ethnicity are you? Are you Filipina, Korean, or Japanese? I'm Taiwanese. Where have you lived? I lived in LA. I lived in Arkansas, which I can't really remember because I was around 3 years old. I lived in Taiwan, and when I moved back to the States, I was in LA most of the time, and then I'm in Vegas, living in Vegas now, and I literally just moved here like 7 months ago. How old were you when you lost your virginity? I lost my virginity the legal way. I lost it at age 18. Also, it's getting chilly. I might put on my jacket. Okay, I put on my jacket, or my sweater. So, do I believe in premarital sex? I guess I believe it. I'm for premarital sex, if that's what it means. Yeah, I just think personally, sex drive compatibility is important to me in a relationship, let alone marriage. So it's just not something that you want to find out after you get married, you know? It's like, do you want kids or not? This is something you should know before you get married. Moving on. Minimum age of a guy you date. No younger than me, no younger than my age, and I'm 23. Outside of school, do you take art classes or research on art? Yes, I do. I am still to this day buying art classes to learn about 3D modeling and matte painting, even though I do not have a career future in that field anymore, considering AI is replacing everything and laying off everyone. But yes, I do still have a passion for art, even though I'm not really full on creating right now. I feel like a curator right now, not gonna lie. Okay, I had to switch locations because Pixie is just following me and crying directly at me, and I think the microphone is picking up her sounds. Moving on though, do you smoke cigarettes? I do not. Um, there's literally a warning on the package in bold letters that says it can cause lung cancer, so I do not. Horrible marketing, I do not. I do smoke Zaza though. I love my weed. How is your mental health? It's been a lot better, honestly. I think for the first time in my life, I'm actually working on it. And after being diagnosed with BPD on top of complex PTSD, it has resolved a lot of complications. Basically, managing my own mental health and managing my thought process became easier now that I know I have BPD. But for the first time in my life, it's peak. It's peak. Literally, it's getting better. Every day, every month is getting better, despite of the up and downs. What would you do for a Klondike bar? I would find the CEO and very politely ask him if I can have a lifetime support of Klondike bars. So yes, very politely to the CEO. Are you still working on Corby stickers? For a while, yes, but I am dealing with some deadlines coming up for my children's book illustration gigs, so I haven't been working on that. All of my artistic focus is on my freelance gigs at the moment. Are you a fan of GTA series? I've played GTA like in my entire lifetime, probably less than 30 minutes, so I can't say I'm a fan or not. It does look like a fun game, but it reminds me of LA, so I'm not sure about that. Would you date a Marine? I have a few friends who are Marines that I have later cut off from my life. Personal reasons, I guess we just don't vibe. Nah, it was beyond not vibing. So yeah, I don't know. If I meet a good Marine, why not? When do you plan to have your family? I guess realistically it would be after I'm 30, but ideally maybe around 30, my early 30s. What are you still hoping to accomplish? I am still hoping to make content for more outdoor camping and hiking and maybe even eventually overlanding stuff. And also some car content, just because overlanding does require me to have a overlanding vehicle, obviously. Other than that, I do still want to go into real estate investments, property investments, and property management, which I'm currently working on. That's still one thing that I wish to accomplish. And in regards to property investments, I do want to get into building Airbnbs for photo shoots. I think interior design is pretty fun. Or not interior design, but decorating. Interior decoration is a fun thing that I can pursue in the future. Should I switch camera angles? Let's switch camera angles. Do you count calories? I used to. I think back in high school, but then I stopped because I realized that it was pointless, especially when I'm working out every day. It's like, what's the point of counting when I literally need it? Favorite song at the moment? I would say it's Right Thing by Bayon. I wish I could add it to this video to show you guys what that song is, but I would be copyrighted, so I'll just include the title and artist name in words on my screen right here. Are you seeing anyone? I occasionally go on dates if I meet someone interesting, but no, nothing serious right now. I consider myself single. Where and which platforms are you live streaming most? Right now, I would say it's Twitch and YouTube. Kick is weird. after almost a year of not touching it, or over half a year of not touching it, nothing has changed on that platform. I believe it is still in beta mode, so I'm kind of lazy on that. But I mean, I've cut back from streaming already. I used to stream like 5 days a week, each day being maybe like average 5 hours, 3 to 5 hours, I would say. But right now I only stream like once a month. But when I do go live, it's Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. Do you have any hidden talents? I do. I can look in 2 different directions at the same time. Like this. I don't know if it's showing on camera, but anyways. What are your hobbies? I like drawing. So drawing as in physically drawing or digitally drawing. Pole dancing is one of them. Big time right now, actually. I've been enjoying working on my car. Like just repairing little things. Nothing too crazy like working on the engine, because I've worked on the engine before and I fucked up my manifold. I kind of realized that you need something called the torque wrench to measure how tight the bolts are, and I didn't know at the time. I kind of just like, I'll just screw it back in. And a few weeks later, I was told that my manifold is misaligned. So I don't work on my engine anymore. I do work on, like if I recently worked on my trunk latch and driver side latch, replacing the door handles. I did an upgrade to my Sequoia trunk latch where other than opening from the outside, I can also open it from the inside through this little cable thing that I bought online. But yeah, I just installed it by drilling a hole on the panel and then lining it in. Other hobbies, I like fine art photography. To this day, I still do fine art self-portraiture around nature. Not as much as I used to back in high school, but I still do it. I'm trying to get into video games as a hobby, but it's kind of hard. I feel like I still have this old, outdated belief that video games equates to not being productive or being lazy and stuff. I just associate that with a bad thing, and I'm trying to change it. But when I do have free time, the first thing on my mind isn't video games. It's something else. But yeah, favorite brand of makeup, I don't have it. I wonder if it's a girl asking this, actually. I'd be so happy if I had a female audience. I don't have a favorite brand of makeup because I am a cheap nut. All the makeup I have are from drugstores that cost me less than $5. So I don't have a brand. Do you take dance classes? Right now I am training in pole. I did take dance classes when I was younger, like ballet, hip hop. I've taken tap dancing, aerial silks, stuff like that. Most of them were offered in my high school. Right now, I only take pole dance classes, maybe aerial pole and maybe Lyra hoop, if they have them at the studio, and if it's included in my membership. But yeah, that's the only dance classes I take at the moment. I enjoy learning it myself as well through YouTube videos. Ideal first date? First date? I want to say hiking, but it is not a good idea to go out with a stranger, complete stranger that you just met alone in the middle of nowhere. Unless it's a mutual friend, of course. Oh my god. Pixie's stuck and she's trying to get to the treat that I just threw at her. But yeah, ideal first date. Something chill, not gonna lie. I don't really agree with the first date being like an expensive investment, because it's literally the first date where you're trying to get to know each other and each other's values and stuff like that. So I would say literally Starbucks is fine, a coffee shop is fine. Yeah. Or just a walk around the park, stuff like that. Explore the city. That's my ideal first date. Just be spontaneous and go with the flow. Nothing too crazy. What breed is Pixie and what made you get Pixie? Pixie is a Whippet. what made me get Pixie is that originally I wanted a dog that is more on the protective side. So I was looking at Staffordshire Terrier, I was looking at pit bulls. I'm talking about what I should have gotten as a pet, and she's upset about it. She's like, "What? You regret having me?" But yeah, I was looking at Staffordshire, Rottweilers, Doberman, even a German Shepherd. I was thinking about getting a Belgian Malinois, but I have a colleague who has it, and that dog is way too active. But anyways, when I first moved here, right now I obviously live in a rental house. Rental properties do not allow big dogs. Like, on the list of breeds that they don't allow includes Huskies, Golden Retrievers, German Shepherd, Pit Bulls, Doberman, Rottweiler, Cane Corsos. All those big, scary protection dogs, they are completely not allowed. So I ended up going with my dream dog. It's funny how a Whippet is my dream dog, but that wasn't my first choice. So I was just like, you know what, this is probably the best time to get my dream dog. So I got a Whippet. I got Pixie. Biggest celebrity crush? Vi from Arcane. Wasn't expecting that, huh? I swear, I'm straight. But in all seriousness, I would say Javier Bardem. Young Javier Bardem. Right now, he's a little bit too old. No offense. He's still a DILF, but I don't know. He looks very hot when he was younger. Anyways, do you have any tattoos, or do you plan on getting any? I do have a tattoo. This is my only one right now. The tattoo is a bird with a twig in its beak, and it's done by my best friend. Her tattoo account on Instagram is Margosha Tattoos. So if you guys ever want a tattoo designed just for you, or if you want to get tattoos, shout out to Margot, my bestie of almost 9 or 10 years now. The other question regarding tattoos is that, do you plan on getting any? I do plan on getting more tattoos in the future. I've been thinking about it. This was after a conversation with Margot about tattoos. We had this conversation, a long conversation about traveling to different places and have different tattoo artists tattoo on our bodies, and we just carry that on our skin forever until we go into our graves. I think that's a beautiful idea. I would love to have artist works permanently embedded in my skin. I might, in the future, get a sleeve, get a bigger piece of tattoo on my body. I'm not sure yet, because this almost killed me, not gonna lie. It was honestly so painful, and this is such a simple design, so I don't know how I'm gonna react if I were to get a big one. So that is still in my consideration at the moment. How many languages do you know? Fluently and conversationally, I know English, obviously. I know Mandarin Chinese, but I can't write it anymore. Maybe I can read it a bit, but I can't write it anymore. Other languages that I know a little bit includes Russian and French. That's pretty much it. Know how to read a little bit of Japanese, only if it's in the character that looks like Mandarin Chinese, if that makes sense. If you can have a conversation with a younger version of yourself, what advice would you give? Don't go to college. Go to a trade school. I would not recommend my younger self to go into college. I thought at the very least I would get the college experience out of it, but I feel like I didn't really click well with the majority of my peers. In my opinion, they were way too radical, and I was bullied very hard for it, just for being, I guess, mediocre in terms of point of views. I didn't learn anything from college, not gonna lie, not anything useful. What fictional world would you live in? You know what? Pandora seems pretty nice, where the blue avatar people are at. Yeah, it looks fun. Other than that, I would say Arcane, Piltover, and Zaun. That seems like a good place to live in, especially the Time Bomb universe. What is your dream job or career aspirations? It used to be animation and video game design, more specifically matte painting. That was the field that I was getting intensive training from, and that was the field that I have a lot of mentors in. But you guys know about this, or I think a portion of you guys know about this if you guys used to watch my streams a lot. But when I graduated, all of my mentors got laid off due to AI. A lot of studios were testing out AI right away, and I don't really think that's my dream job anymore. If I want to do anything with art, I would prefer to do it at my own time as a hobby instead of something that corporate's just gonna take advantage of. So right now it's more of a goal for me to have financial independence, freedom, and prosperity instead of having one single dream job. So right now I am in school for real estate and property investments. I'm still doing OnlyFans and content creating. As you can see, I'm branching out into YouTube because I got partnered from that one video that went kind of viral. I'm still working as a freelance artist and illustrator, working on children's book or posters or book covers and stuff like that. And I am still working as a Photoshopper for e-commerce designs and cosplay photos, editor, stuff like that. Basically anything that has to do with Photoshop. I do anything, I guess. And I have my new part-time job now that I'm having a lot of fun with, even though I know it won't last forever because everything is becoming more corporate. Favorite music genre? Indie, grunge, movie soundtracks, instrumentals. Yeah, I think that's it. And some pop, some hip hop, but I feel like I'm really picky in terms of those genres. Like, if it sounds good, then I love it. And I also listen to a lot of foreign language music. Are you religious? Used to be, not anymore. Although I do believe in such entity as the universe, and I do believe in everything happens for a reason. Why did you quit your corporate job? And why do you hate corporate so much? So these were kind of combined because there was a lot of questions about that. So let's start with the why. My streaming community know about this, but I think my YouTube doesn't. Let's just say my art skills were not really respected. They would mass produce my work and they would tell me that I am work for hire. So whatever profit they made from max producing my artwork, I wouldn't get a penny of it. And I would only get paid literally minimum wage. And I was working pretty much full time, 9 to 5. My last straw was them giving me a raise and then cutting my hours in half. I was like, what? Now I'm getting paid even less. And with my hours being cut, I have this feeling that they are still expecting me to do the same amount of workload. But in general, I just feel like my art skills weren't respected enough and I rather just leave. And plus, I hate commuting 1 or 2 hours to and then 1 or 2 hours back, literally 9 to 5 during rush hour. I hated that. I thought sitting on my ass for like 12 hours a day just to come home, eat, and go to sleep and repeat the same thing next day was just not my lifestyle, and that's why I quit. Finally, Pixie here is calm now. Finally. Oh my god. I think my video will be interesting if I keep switching locations, I guess. Yes, why do I hate corporate so much? I just think, in my opinion, I think that as employees, you're expendable to your employers unless you have nepotism, where you have a family member already high above on the corporate ladder that can get you opportunities right away, that can get you good positions right away and stuff like that. Then yeah, you're winning. Stay there if you'd like. But if you're starting from square one, you're expendable. if they can find a way to replace you at a lower cost, they will. People I know are being laid off out of nowhere. Another thing was they could schedule you to work seasonally, and last minute, if they were to like, let's push another year back, and they can just do that without consulting with the employees that they hired, you know. So I don't like that kind of work ethic amongst corporate jobs. And I just don't like the 9 to 5 factor and commuting so long and sitting on your ass so long. So yeah, I do not like corporate. Do you have a retirement plan? So I have a couple of day job 401ks, I think, on different accounts or websites. I have a Roth IRA, and I have just brokerage accounts that I invest in. And I'm hoping to get into property investments to expand my capital. I think that's all the questions I have for the general category. Now moving on to outdoors, literally my favorite part. Literally my favorite part. Let me have some water, actually. When did you realize you love the outdoors? The earliest memory of outdoors that I can think of that I absolutely enjoy is as a kid, when I'm on, like, I don't know, those ranch farms in Taiwan, like in the middle of the forest. I love just laying down on the grass and roll down the hill like that. And I think my very first like recollections of being in the outdoors were also in Taiwan, and Taiwan's scenery is absolutely beautiful, in the mountains, in the forests, on the beaches, stuff like that. So I think that's how I got into outdoors, because I already loved it as a kid. School definitely distracted me from it. So when I really got back into it was in college. Like, I would just want to go on trails to location scout for my fine art photography projects. And that really got me to like slow down and absorb the view, which I don't really do that as a kid. So yeah, I've always loved the outdoors. What's your go-to snack or meal on a trail? What kind of food do you bring on hiking and camping trips? So snacks, I bring dried cranberries, granola bars, fruits. I think that's it. Sometimes cookies. But in terms of a whole meal, ramen is my go-to meal. I would bring a pack of sliced frozen meat, kind of like hot pot meat. And I would bring my little like gas canister and the adapter thing, and I would just bring a pot and cook ramen with meat in it, fresh. Or sometimes I would bring carne asada and a pan, and I would just fry that shit. So yeah, those are my go-to foods. Longest I've hiked, I don't know if it was 20 miles or 15, probably 15, but it was with a group of friends. We went to Pinnacles National Forest, or National Park. It's the youngest national park in the US, by the way. And what happened was we were going to drive to the trailhead, but the entire road was blocked. So we had to park in this big visitor lot parking and walk all the way to the trailhead and begin our hike there. Needless to say, we didn't finish the trail because by the time we got to the trailhead, we were already near death. But that entire day, we probably walked, it was definitely over 10 miles for sure. Probably over 15 miles as well. I don't know about 20. Toothpaste when hiking, camping. I have a little small travel packet of toothpaste that I use, but sometimes I don't even brush my teeth like every day when I'm outside. What are your top dream locations to hike and camp in? I really want to go to Brazil and Portugal, Iceland, Scotland, Greenland, Ireland, Germany, Vietnam. I don't know. Basically everywhere. But the places that I've mentioned, those are obviously on the top of my head. So there's your answer. Do you prefer hiking in cold or warm weather? Probably in the cold. I don't know, love hate, I guess. I don't like sweating so much during warm weather, but then when I hike in cold weather, I also sweat, and since I sweat, I get wet, and then it makes me colder. So yeah, I don't know. Probably on the colder side. I prefer cold over warm. What are you growing? I think this is more like a question for the general category, but I think this question is referring to my little arrow garden, the little pod with lights on it, and I can just fill it up with water. I'm growing black seeded lettuce. I didn't pick the seed. It came with the little planter garden thing that I bought on Amazon. Favorite campsite? Ooh, good one. When I was in Sequoia, I went to. So, Sequoia National Forest and National Park are two different things, which I didn't know at the time. They are 3 hours apart, so do not make the same mistake that I did. But when I was in Sequoia National Forest, I camped in this dispersed camping area called Calkin Flats. It is next to Kern River. I'm not sure, but it's next to this really powerful and fast moving river. And it is really, really beautiful there. In the winter, I also camped in Kings Canyon. Pixie. Hey. I can't remember this other campsite's name, but it was located towards the north. I think it was in Kings Canyon. During the summer, you have to pay for it, but in the winter, where it snows like crazy there, it's free. Have you ever had sex while camping? Yes, I have. Did you purchase 4x4? I did, and it's currently in the shop right now. Where do you buy your hiking and camping gears? I usually get them on Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp, or Amazon, honestly. I have a membership at REI, but their stuff is really, really expensive, so I don't really get stuff from there often unless I absolutely have to. Or unless I need high quality stuff, such as sleeping bags, because if you get the wrong sleeping bag, you will get so cold and you will not be able to fall asleep. What is in your first aid kit for a day hike? I don't have it with me right now, but it's just Band-Aids. It's literally just Band-Aids, not gonna lie. Yeah, it's literally just Band-Aids. Although I did stuff some like hydrogen peroxide packages in there and some Tiger Balm in there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I usually just thug it out. Like if I get a cut, I just let it bleed and dry out, and I go back and clean up and stuff. When you have to go, bucket or woods? Woods all the way. Especially when I am hiking or camping somewhere that's like pretty like secluded. I just drop my pants and go. Worst camping experience? I was dispersed camping on the east entrance exit of Death Valley, so it's outside of Death Valley. And like in the daytime it was fine, but at night it was so windy. It was like unbelievably windy to the point that all of my friends woke up with our tent sideways, like we were sleeping sideways, and we were like, what the fuck is going on? And like literally throughout the night it was super, super windy. So I remember my friends and I have to like get up, re-nail the little hooks into the ground. We have to nail in the tent again, and we ended up having to like move our car at different places to block the wind multiple times. And none of us slept well that night because we woke up probably like 5 times in the middle of the night to deal with that. But it's not the worst. I mean, it's not too bad in my opinion. I had fun always when I'm camping, but that was probably the worst experience in terms of camping. What's up? You bored? Do you have any favorite stories of hiking with friends or meeting new people on the trail? Multiple. I don't know which one I would pick if I were to pick one. I'm just gonna say, so in regards to meeting new people, when I was camping in the Calkin Flats area that I told you guys about in Sequoia National Forest, I met a retired construction worker and his wife, and they were probably the coolest people ever. I believe what they told my friends and I were that they were waiting for, I think, a court trial, something in regards to the union, because the union fucked him over. Or not the union fucked him over, but the construction company, like, I guess fucked him over, and now they're dealing with union stuff. But when we met them, they had already been camping there for, I think, a week. They were really nice. They let us borrow, like, bug sprays and stuff. In the daytime, they were just fishing, stuff like that. So yeah, that was probably the best meeting new people experience I've ever had. Best hiking experience or story, though, still in Sequoia National Park. I gotta say, Sequoia National Park, whether you go there in the summer or whether you go there in the winter when it's snowing, it is so beautiful, especially during sunset. It is so beautiful. Like, you would not believe that place exists ever. Everything feels surreal. Everything is so colorful. Everything feels like a fairy tale. My favorite would honestly be going to Sequoia National Park in the winter, because there would be a lot of snow that's stuck on the tree branches. And when the sun hits the snow, it just starts melting and it starts flowing down, and it is so beautiful. Like, I can't emphasize that enough. It was absolutely magical. How does hiking impact your mental health? It forces me to stay away from my phone because I don't have any receptions. My concept of time seems to slow down when I'm hiking. I become very attentive to details. I look for birds, I look for little animals. I would just sit here, like what I'm doing right now, if I wasn't making a video, and I would just stare at the sky, stare at the clouds, stare at landscapes, stuff like that. And it is almost like meditation. And I like to put on music while I just sit here and absorb the view, kind of watch the shadows, the sunlight hitting the rocks, and watching the shadow move as well, in a way. It brings me a lot of peace. I feel like with my disorder, I tend to overthink a lot. So when I'm in nature, I only care about the current moment, the present moment, and I only care about my survival being in nature. And everything else in terms of my work, finances, career stress and all that kind of just gets blocked away when I'm in nature. So yeah, I don't think I did a really good job explaining it, but hiking definitely rejuvenates me. And that's why I go out on a hike at least once every week. What's one thing you've learned about yourself through hiking? That is a really good question. I was not prepared for this. So one thing that I can think of is that I'm really good at maneuvering rocks, almost like bouldering, but not bouldering. I guess one word I can say is mountaineering. I enjoy it, and I'm also pretty decent at it. And I did not know that about myself. I don't know if it has anything to do with me being flexible and being a dancer and being a pole dancer and stuff, but sometimes I'm pretty surprised. Every time I hike and do challenging stuff, I end up surprising myself. Honestly, about that, another thing that surprises me is my endurance. Like, that one time I backpacked to Griffith Peak, I did not know I would be able to hike that far with that much weight on my back. So that was a huge personal achievement for me. So what's one thing I've learned about myself in terms of mentally, emotionally, and internally, I would say is that every time I go out into nature, I feel very small and insignificant and unimportant. I know that sounds fucking depressing, but hear me out. Hear me out. One thing I learned is that I am very small in this universe. Technically, if I fuck it up when I'm hiking or camping, I could die or I could get injured. When you're in the city, you don't really feel like this, if that makes sense. When you're surrounded by people, when you're surrounded by your coworkers, most of the time what's on your mind is like, what do people think of me? Am I doing a good job? Am I on the right path in life? Stuff like that. But when I'm out in nature, I don't think about all that stuff. I think about survival. I think about how small I am. I think about how humbling this experience is. And when I'm so far away from civilization, I just really enjoy this feeling. Feeling that I'm unimportant and that my whole purpose and goal on this planet is to just live my life the way that I want to. How do you manage to capture good footage or content while still enjoying the hike? When I was making that backpacking to Griffith Peak video, I would set an alarm like every 15 minutes to record something, whether it be like, usually when the timer goes off, I record where I am and I record myself and I talk to the camera, just giving the camera an update and so on. Pixie, careful. But yeah, good footage, I don't know how to explain that. Or I feel like number one, you need to have a good video recording equipment. For me, I have my iPhone 13 Pro Max and I have my DJI Pocket. And I'm also a photographer, so I know how to frame my pictures. If you could hike anywhere in the world, where would it be? Anywhere in the world? I want to go to everywhere in the world, so I don't know. Right now, on the top of my head, I really want to hike Half Dome. I also really want to hike Angel's Landing at Zion. Have you considered going vegan? This is not an outdoor question, but I guess it was put in the wrong category. No, I love my meat too badly to go vegan. Best place to overland in Nevada. I have yet to start overlanding, so I don't know. I only know that between Nevada and California, there are a lot of overlanding trails. Like, there's actually pathways and trails that's made for overlanding. And I heard it's really good. I heard it's really fun. I've just yet to try it. I've actually been recording this Q&A for a very long time now, so I think I'm gonna hike back down. For the third category, which is the OnlyFans Q&A category, I think I'll save it for another time. Maybe on another trail, or maybe I'll just do it at home. Not sure. More to come. But if you like this video, please like, comment any other additional questions so I can make more Q&A videos. And subscribe to my channel. Also check out my Linktree for more Corby content. Catch you on the next one.